Welcome to Pattern and Craft. I'm Courtney, and in today's video I want to show you how to make this cute little crochet diamond. So this is a lot like making a solid granny square with a few modifications to get this diamond shape. Now this diamond does fit into a 6-pointed star like so. You can also make other arrangements also like zigzag chevron, and I will show you that a little bit later. But I just wanted to show you how to make this because it's a really fun but still fairly simple variation. The center, the first round, is a little complicated because I'm using different heights of stitches to get this tapered effect. But if you can get through round one, the rest is easy, I promise. All right, let's get started with the tutorial. Today I will be using Stylecraft Naturals organic cotton. This is a DK weight cotton, and I will be using the color Dove. And I will be pairing that with a 5mm crochet hook. This is a Clover Amour. You can of course use any yarn you want. I'm using this today, and I wanted to let you know what I was using. So to get started, I'm going to do a magic ring to start. If you have a different start that you prefer, feel free to use that instead. So to make a magic ring, I do tail of my yarn being held in these two fingers. Working yarn goes over, behind, over again, and then gets held by my thumb. And then I go under, over, pull this yarn under the right side and twist. Yarn over, reposition while I hold everything with my index finger. And then I have 2 loops on the hook. I pull that second loop through the first. Now I have 1 chain on my hook, and I have a magic ring here. I'm going to tighten it by pulling the tail. I actually like to untwist it too. It always gets that one little twist there. Now I'm going to chain 1 more. This chain 2 represents a half double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2 for the corner chain space, 1, 2, and now I'm going to make a regular half double crochet into the ring. So to make a half double crochet, yarn over, into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over. Now you have 4 loops on the hook. Pull that first loop through the other 3. Half double crochet. Now we're going to make a double crochet. So yarn over, hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, 4 loops on the hook, pull that first loop through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Next we're going to make an extended double crochet. I know this is a lot of different stitches, but don't worry, the very first round is the hardest round. Everything from here on is a breeze. So we're going to make an extended double crochet now. We're going to yarn over, hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over. So it starts with 4 loops on the hook, just like for a double crochet. We're going to pull that first loop through just 1, then yarn over, then pull it through 2, then yarn over, pull it through 2. So you're essentially doing a double crochet with a chain 1 at the bottom. It's one of my favorite stitches actually. It's a little bit taller than a double crochet, but it looks better than a treble crochet. That being said, the next stitch we need to do is a Y stitch, but to start it, we need to do a treble crochet. So we're going to yarn over twice. So we have our existing loop on our hook and 2 yarn overs. Then we're going to, into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over. Now we have 5 loops on our hook. Pull that first loop through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That is a treble crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to make this treble crochet into a Y stitch by doing 1 yarn over, inserting our hook into these 2 loops here at the bottom of the stitch rather than inserting into the ring right there. Yarn over to pull up a loop through those, and then yarn over. So 4 loops on the hook, and we're going to make a double crochet now. So first loop through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that makes essentially a little Y shape because we worked into this stitch here. So it kind of splits the stitch into a Y shape. I do this at the corners of my diamond because here I have a little sample. So that makes this hole a little smaller than it would be if we had 2 stitches going into here, and this becomes less bunched than it would if we had just a treble and a treble. So I like using the Y because you do 1 stitch that splits off and then joins back into itself. So we would usually have a larger hole here and more bunching here if I did not use the Y stitch. So that's why I choose to use that in the corner. Oh, hello. All right, I'm gonna keep going now. So now that we've done this corner, and this is our side corner, this is our like pointy end corner, I'm gonna go back the other direction and basically do this set of stitches in reverse. So extended double crochet, half double crochet. So again, to make the extended, we yarn over once, go into the ring and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We have an extended double crochet. Now yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for a regular double crochet. Next we have a half double, so yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Oh, again. So now we've made 2 sides. Well, we have a corner, a side, a corner, a side, and now I need to do a corner, so I'm going to chain 2. And now I need to make the top part of my diamond because I have the bottom half right now. So yarn over, make our half double crochet, then make a double crochet. Now an extended double crochet. Now a Y stitch. So we have to yarn over twice. Make that treble crochet. Chain 3. And then make the double crochet into the leg, or yes, into the first 2 legs of the treble crochet right there. And then next we're doing, I'm gonna pull this tighter. Okay, next extended double crochet, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we finished off this round because we already did a half double crochet. Well, we did a chain 2 that represented a half double crochet over here. So now all we have left to do is a double crochet. And now we slip stitch into the first stitch of the round. So I just like to slip stitch sort of around this chain. So we basically put our hook between, yarn over, pull that loop through, and pull it through the loop on the hook. Now we can tighten our magic ring. And we have roughly a diamond shape. So this will get pulled a little bit more pointy as we work the next round. And this will get pulled to the side, so it'll be a lot more diamond-y shaped once we work the next round. But basically we did these shorter stitches transitioning into longer stitches to make one side of the diamond short and one side long. And we have a chain 2 in these 2 corners and a chain 3 in these 2 corners. I actually would prefer to do a chain 1 in these corners. Mathematically that would be better, but it doesn't work so well with a half double crochet. So I am doing a chain 2 for the first round, but the next 2 rounds we're gonna only do a chain 1 in the side corner chain spaces. All right, so that's round 1, and next we're going to do round 2. So I'm going to chain 3. All stitches from here on out are going to be double crochet or chains, so that's all we have to worry about now. We only had to do all these different stitches to start with to get our general shape. So this chain 3 represents a double crochet. It's coming out of the top of this stitch. Now I need to work a double crochet into the corner chain space. So just going to make a regular double crochet. Now I need to make a corner chain, so I'm just going to chain 1 for that. Now I'm going to make a double crochet back into the chain space. So our side corner is basically into the chain space. We're doing a double crochet, a chain 1, a double crochet. Now we just want 1 double crochet stitch into each stitch along the rest of the side of our diamond. So the top of this stitch is a little hard to work into, but here's the top of this stitch. So I want to make sure we're actually going into the top 2 loops of that stitch and not just around it or back into the chain space. Make a double crochet, and then the rest of the stitches are easy, just a double crochet into each stitch along the side. So now we're at the point where we're doing our corner. Now the corners are a little different on this pattern for these pointy ends of our diamonds. So we're going to do 2 double crochets into the chain space. 1, oops, 2 into the chain space, and then kind of shift the stitches so you have some room. But instead of doing a 3rd stitch, a chain for a corner, and then 3 more stitches, that would be a lot of stitches into this 1 chain space, and it would look kind of bunchy and it wouldn't give us a nice sharp corner. So I figured out that you can do a double crochet into the chain of the chain space, and I did 3 so that well, mathematically it works better that way, but also we can use the 2nd stitch, which is the middle chain of the corner, to work into. So this is the top of this stitch. This is the chain next to it. So we want the next one after that. So the 2nd of the chains of the chain space. It's a little hard. I use my nail to kind of get me in there. Oops. Actually, I split the yarn. So there we go. So if you can see, we're working into the 2nd chain of the 3 chain space, and we've pulled up a loop through that, and then just complete that double crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 for our corner, and then we're going to work a double crochet back into the same 2nd chain of the chain space of the prior round. So we're basically working 2 stitches into this chain space, a stitch, a chain 3, and another stitch into the chain, the 2nd chain of the chain 3 chain space. Now we're going to work 2 double crochets back into the regular chain space. 1, 2. And what that does is it gives us a longer, sort of pointier corner. I was finding when I was trying to just make a regular elongated square, I wasn't getting a tight enough corner here. So I came up with that little way to do that. And that way you have less holes in your work, or at least less large of holes in your work, and less bunching of stitches and a more pointy corner. Now we just work 1 double crochet into each stitch along the rest of the side. Don't miss this one. The top of this one's right here. So we do 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and now we're at the side corner chain space right here. We're going to just do 1 stitch, double crochet stitch, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet stitch into that chain space. All right, so we have in our corner, again, we do a double crochet, chain one, double crochet. Now we need to work 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 1 into each of these stitches on the side. Remember, this one's a little bit tough because we don't want to, there we go. The first one's just a little challenging, and then the rest are easy breezy. Just a double crochet into each stitch of the previous round. That would be 4. All right, now we're back to our funky corner that we need to make the pointy corner. So we're going to do 2 double crochet into the chain space like usual. 1, 2. Now we're going to make 1 double crochet into that stitch there. So we have the top of the stitch, the first chain, and the second chain. The second chain is the one we want to go into just one of the loops of the chain. There we go. And we're going to make a double crochet into that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we have the corner started. The chain 3 is our corner. Now we need to finish it by going and doing another double crochet into that second chain. And now we do 2 double crochets back into the corner chain space, just like we did before. There you go. So we have our side corner, our pointy corner, our side corner, and a pointy corner. Now we just need to finish up by doing a double crochet into each stitch along the side. We came out of this stitch, so we only need to do 1, 2, 3 along this side before we join. So, because we already have the first of the 4 on this side made. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and then we just need a slip stitch to join. So again, I just like to go around, just insert my hook between the stitch and the starting chain that represents the stitch, pull up a loop, and pull that loop through to do a slip stitch onto that stitch. So that is round 2. And this is only a 3-round repeat, so we are almost done. So next we want to chain 3 again. That represents a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. We're coming out of this stitch here, so we need to make 1 more double crochet into this stitch and then work a side corner. So double crochet into the next stitch. Now we work a corner, which is 1 double crochet into the chain space, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the chain space again. So there's our corner. Now just make 1 double crochet in each stitch all along the side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're back to the funky pointy corner. So we do 2 double crochet into the chain space, third double crochet into the second chain of the chain space, just one loop. Get in there. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then double crochet back into this little loop that we made by working into the chain. Then 2 double crochets into the chain space here. And then 1 stitch into each of the stitches along the side, double crochet stitches. It's a fairly simple pattern once you get to this point. It's just the center that's a little bit weird, and then the pointy corners are just a little bit of a different technique than is usually used for a corner. So I'm doing just 1 double crochet into each stitch along the side. And now I've reached a corner. So I'm going to do, since it's the short corner or the shallow corner, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet back into the chain space. And then again, just work all of the stitches along the side, 1 double crochet per stitch. And again, our last funky pointy corner, 2 double crochets into the chain space. One double crochet into the second chain of the corner chain space from the previous round, or the corner chain, not the chain space. Chain 3. And 1 double crochet into that same chain of the corner. Chain space, and then 2 double crochets back into the chain space. There we go. We're almost done. Now we just need to complete this side by working 1 double crochet into each stitch along the side. And we are almost done. Here's the last stitch going into the last stitch. I'm actually going to just pull this up. I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to do needle finishing to finish my work, but here is the diamond. So the great thing about this diamond is it does work into, if you line it up with another diamond and you make 6 of them, they all will join and be the right angles to join together for 6. I found a tutorial for a diamond that worked up to be more like 5 fitting together, but if you only fit 5 together, you can make, you know, a star or something, a 5-pointed star, but then you can't keep going because mathematically it just doesn't work out. But a 6-pointed star, you can just add additional diamonds and keep going and keep going. You can also use this to make like a zigzag pattern as well if you prefer. I'll show a little diagram of that. And you might be wondering why I have this little triangle square. So that is for creating a straight edge. So if you make your star, you'll notice that there's really nowhere to put a straight edge if you wanted to make like a rectangular blanket. So I came up with this little triangle that has the same angles as this diamond, but just as if you cut it in half. I can do another tutorial for this little triangle. I will have that coming up very soon, so check back for that so that you can have that option if you want straight sides for your blanket. But this is the diamond all finished. I'm just gonna do the finishing on it now. Okay, to finish off, I'm going to take this loop that I pulled out of the top of the stitch and just go ahead, I've cut my yarn, go ahead and pull it all the way through. So I just have the yarn kind of coming out of the top of this stitch. Now I'm going to thread that onto a darning needle, yarn needle, or tapestry needle. I like the blunt end type. And then I am going to insert my hook into the top of this stitch, not this stitch. We're working over this stitch. So we're inserting the hook into the top of the next stitch over through both loops. Oopsies. Pull our yarn until, not till it's tight, but just till about that point. Then reinsert our yarn or our needle. See how this stitch has 2 loops at the top of it? I'm gonna go between those 2 loops, and then actually I like to go through the little loop at the back as well. And then pull that not all the way tight, just so that it replicates the other stitches on the side. It's basically an invisible finish. Then I'm going to just stitch into my work through stitches and then hide that yarn tail in the bottom of the stitches, in this little tunnel of the legs of the stitches that you get when you work. Just gonna hide that yarn in there. Just weave it through. And if you leave a long enough tail, I find they don't really come out. You can go back and forth a few times if you like. Sometimes I do that too. And then just snip it off. And then for the center, we're gonna just kind of wind it around our tail into the center a couple times. And the only thing to watch out for is make sure you're continuing in the same direction as your magic circle. Like if your yarn, you can see it's coming from here and going this way. You don't want to start going this way. You'll be undoing your magic ring. I've actually heard of people saying, oh, all my magic rings come apart. And then I ask, oh, did you wind that tail through a few more times? And they say, yes, and it came apart. Well, that would be wise if you're going the opposite direction that the yarn's coming out. If you go back in the same way, you're basically undoing your magic ring. So you want to keep going in the same direction, which for me is clockwise, I suppose, from the back. And it would be, I guess the other would be counterclockwise if you're working on the front. So you just go through these little bottoms of the stitches around the little circle of stitches a few times to secure that tail, and then we can just cut it off. We don't need to tie a knot or anything. It won't come out. So here we have our diamond. So I do have one more example of this pattern, sort of how the diamonds can go together. This is a different yarn, but your diamonds can all be pointing towards each other, and it forms a 6-pointed star. And then at the edge of the 6-pointed stars, you can put one diamond between each, and then you'll see that's the start of another star. So it's a really cool, little component that you can arrange in that way. You can also, like I said, do a zigzag. So see how we have a zigzag forming here? You could just repeat that over and over if you didn't want this star shape. I love this star shape, but if you didn't want the star shape, you could line up all of your diamonds this way and then all this way and get kind of like a herringbone effect as well. That's another option. So that's the diamond, solid granny square diamond version. And I will show you next time how to do the little triangle. Again, that's for the straight edge option. So if you want your one side, or actually these two sides of your blanket to be straight, you would do a little triangle there instead of having the edge of your diamond poking out the side of your blanket like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, learning how to make this diamond. And next time will be the triangle, and I hope you try it out yourself. If you do, and if you post it to Instagram, please tag me. I would love to see if you use any of my tutorials and what you make with them. I am at Pattern and Craft on Instagram. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to share this video around to anyone you think would enjoy it, that would be great too. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Happy crafting!